Lines are now closed. Do not call or text. The following show is controversial and contains content you may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. 98FM.
This is 98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Wednesday evening, Wednesday the 15th day of February 2017. And how are you tonight? I hope everything is good with you between now and midnight tonight. This is Adrian Kennedy. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks. As always, we have a busy show between now and midnight tonight, including a little bit later on. We're going to be asking, is it okay to stay friends with your ex? Now, your new partner mightn't feel very happy about it, but a lot of people believe that, yeah, it is okay to be friends with your ex. Others believe it ended for a reason and it should stay ended and you shouldn't be friends anymore. We'll be talking about that a little bit later on. We'd also be talking about the belief of a MP in the UK who believes that we need to take more responsibility for our elderly parents and stop putting them into nursing homes. We'll be finding out how you feel about that later on. All that and much more between now and midnight tonight on Wednesday's Dublin Talks.
98FM. The show getting Dublin talking.
98FM's Dublin Talks.
I'm Adrian Kennedy, and that man there is Jeremy Dixon.
What was this all about?
Can I have my things there?
I gave you everything.
No, you didn't, no.
I actually did.
Oh, did you? Oh, so you did.
Unbelievable.
Okay, unbelievable.
How many of you, by the way, watched... you like Louis Theroux, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I love Louis Theroux.
Yeah, he's very
for
good,
those of you who don't know who he is, but everybody knows who he is. He's a documentary maker for the BBC. He's the fellow with the glasses.
Yep.
Who's kind of awkward, isn't he, when he's asking questions? He's awkward looking.
A little bit.
He is a bit awkward.
Yeah.
But he makes some great documentaries. I was watching one late last night on, I think it was RTE, where he interviewed people who work in the porn industry in America. Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen it, make sure you try and... It could be on Netflix or it could be on... it could be available to download. Come on. Have you ever watched the programme?
I have watched the programme, yes.
But have you watched the one where he interviews porn stars and stuff like that? It's absolutely fascinating. Most of it, I think every single person listening to the show at the moment has watched porn at some stage. But you never really get inside the head of someone who stars in those movies. So he basically goes to the houses of all these porn actors and actresses. And the one thing I noticed about it is they're all screwed up in the head.
Really? Well,
yeah, they all have serious... Because he interviews them and he asks them, he asks them quite difficult questions, and they all have issues. They all have issues dating back to their childhood and their upbringing and stuff like that. I think you have to have, don't you?
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, there was one fella that was, or one girl that was being interviewed, and she's a fairly well-known porn star in America. I never heard of her. And she has a boyfriend, and he was interviewing the two of them, and he was asking the boyfriend, like, your girlfriend is heading off today to do a sex scene with 5 other men. How can you...
Be good with that.
How can you be good with that? Yeah. You know, most of us, the majority of you listening, when your wife goes off to work, she's not going off to work to have sex with 5 other men and make a film about it. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm cool with it. It brings the money home. It's mad, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
How do they make money, by the way?
How do who make money?
Porn stars now.
Well, they get paid for making the movies.
No, I know they get paid, but who pays for porn? Like, how is it an industry anymore?
Oh, like, when you can get porn for free on the internet? I actually don't know.
Like years ago when I was growing up, I remember in school, and you the same, porn was, and this wasn't a bad thing. I think this should be the way it is now. I think this is why society is the way it is. But porn was very difficult to get when I was a kid and when you were a kid. And the only way you would ever get your hands on porn, because there was no such thing as porn on the internet, and the only way you could get your hands on porn was if one of the young fellas in the class happened to bring in a VHS cassette that had porn on it, and the quality of it would be absolutely rubbish.
But you'd all share it around.
But you couldn't even pause it on the good bits, because if you tried to pause it, it'd be just like snow on the screen. But that was my only access to porn when I was younger. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. But now you can get it everywhere.
And I think it's a lot more hardcore now as well, isn't it? And I think it's ruining society, isn't it?
Each to their own. Some people use porn in a very constructive way.
No. I'm not talking about for adults. I'm talking for adults is fine, but I think for teenagers, I think some of the stuff that porn portrays. And you listen to the way, and I don't want to get in a bit of a rant about this, but you listen to the way young fellas, I'm talking about 15, 16 and 17-year-old young fellas. Have you ever overheard a conversation with them talking about women?
Yeah, they're disgusting.
The way teenagers, and if you have a teenage son and you think, oh, my little Johnny doesn't talk about girls like that, yes, he does. I've often overheard young fellas having conversations about women, and they discuss women in the most derogatory way, don't they? They see, and that's because they have had access to porn, isn't it?
Yes, probably, yeah.
Can we not ban porn?
No. How can you possibly do that?
By just
move to North Korea then.
What?
Move to North Korea. They've no internet at all there. So.
I'm sure they have porn in Korea.
No, but they've no internet at all in Korea. So in North Korea. So off you go. Move there.
What, just to get away from porn?
Yeah, exactly. Now, can we deal with the really important news of the day?
Oh.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
In fact, if you bear with me for 1 second, hang on now. Hang on, I just answer my...
oh, good God.
As you will know, that is one of the most recognisable ringtones ever on one of the most recognisable phones ever. Created back in 2000, the Nokia 3310. Do you remember that phone?
Yes.
It's about to be relaunched.
It was a great phone.
Now, it's arguably, this is what people described it as an indestructible phone with an incredible battery life and also the game to end all games, Snake. Yoo-hoo! Remember Snake?
Yes.
Well, the phone was originally launched back in 2000, but this time, with its relaunch, it's expected to cost around €60 and be marketed as a second phone. So you have it as your spare phone.
Your bat phone? The phone you don't tell your missus about?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
That one. What model is your bat phone?
I don't have a bat phone.
That's the right answer. Well done.
Yes, exactly. Prior to the Sony Ericsson Walkman phone, the Motorola Razr, the BlackBerry and the iPhone, the 3310 was the phone to have. And it was, back in the day, everybody...
It set the standard, didn't it?
Everybody had this. Yep. Everybody had that ringtone. Well, Nokia hasn't been the same since then, and despite pioneering camera phones from earlier on, they struggled to adapt to the smartphone age. Microsoft basically bought Nokia phones off Nokia. But now, in 2017, they've a right again to start launching Nokia phones. The 3310's potentially making a return, and there's a bit of a buzz around Nokia again. The 3310.
I think the 3310 was the first mobile phone that ever came out that had vibrate in it, because I remember vibration was a big thing back then, because the phone never vibrated, and then they brought out this phone that vibrates.
Yeah.
And if you remember, if you had the vibration on phones now was nothing compared to the vibration. I mean, women were having orgasms with Nokia 3310s.
Really?
Yeah, they were. No, well, that's a bit of an exaggeration. But it
would literally across the table and fall off.
Yeah, if you left a Nokia 3310 on the table in the pub and it rang up the table because it would buzz across the table, such was the power of the vibration on it, wasn't it? There were council workers digging up roads with Nokia 3310s.
I tell you what shocked me was that the 3310 was launched back in 2000, which is 17 years ago.
Oh my God.
17 years ago that phone launched. And it got me to thinking, what was your favourite phone ever? What was the best phone ever? Now, obviously, I'm going to say I love my current phone because it's the best phone ever, yeah?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about back in the day. What was your favourite phone that you ever had?
What is the ultimate phone?
Yeah, over the last 20 years. For its time now.
Okay, my one was and I can't remember, Motorola Flip it was. Remember when phones flipped open?
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, they were cool, yeah.
And the reason I liked it was because it was like something in a Star Trek. So when your phone rang, you'd have to flip it open. And as well, the Motorola Flip had an aerial, which was always great, because if you're having a conversation with somebody and you didn't want to talk to them anymore, you just start moving the aerial up and down. Sorry, I can't hear. Can't hear you. Breaking up. Remember, I used to do that to you all the time.
Yeah, they were bad, yeah. But your phone is still that bad.
F you, Adrian, says this texter. I nearly crashed the car because I thought my phone was ringing. Now, to that person, I would imagine you nearly crashed your car because you were texting while driving.
Listen to how pathetic it sounds, actually.
Okay, text us now. 087 798 98 98 is our text number. 087 798 98 98. Don't text us if you're driving, by the way. Yeah, it's the amount of people that do that.
And then when you ring them back, I can't talk, I'm driving.
Yeah, don't text while you're driving. Pull the car over. It's not life and death. But what was the ultimate phone for you? What is the ultimate phone? What was the best ever phone? The Samsung Taka as well was a great phone.
I don't remember that.
It was the first touchscreen phone. It was the Samsung Taka, yeah.
Don't remember that.
And I remember when I first got it, because we were so used to using buttons, when the Taka came out, it was just all screen. And you were like, where's the buttons? How do I make a phone call on it?
Text or WhatsApp us right now. What was the best phone you ever had? Now, talking of the 3310, Dave, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Dave?
Dave?
Jeez, Dave, are you in a tunnel there?
No,
Dave, I can't hear a word you're saying. Good God.
Are you on a Nokia 3310?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay.
Now tell me your story about a Nokia 3310.
Yeah, I was in work one day, and they were all their age at the time. And I remember my uncle had one, but it was dropping calls. So he kept he was using it for work, and he kept dropping calls all the time. So he got really kind of pissed off with it, and he went outside. He put it on the ground, and he drove over it in a Land Rover Defender, and it still worked.
He drove over his Nokia 3310 in a big Land Rover, and the phone.
Honestly, God, and he picked it up, and it rang again, and it still worked.
Oh, they were made of what's the stuff?
Titanium?
No, the stuff that Superman makes stuff out of. What's it called?
That's Superman?
Kryptonite.
What's it called?
Kryptonite.
Kryptonite.
Yeah.
They were made from kryptonite, those phones were.
So he ran over.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he ran over it with a big Jeep, and the thing still survived.
Yeah, he put it on the ground, flat on the ground, and he got into his Land Rover Defender, and he drove over it, and it still worked.
It just shows you how good they were. I remember pushing my young fella into a swimming pool when he was younger, yeah? And he had one in his pocket, and it survived the whole ordeal of going into the swimming pool. And yet only last year, the iPhone, wow, we've made our phones waterproof. And that was 15 years ago, and these phones you could just go in for a swim with.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, you couldn't break them.
Now, somebody just reminded me of this ringtone for a certain phone. Have a listen to this and see if this brings back memories. Have a listen now, okay?
I'm listening.
Okay, this is about, I'd say, 15 years.
Hello, Moto.
Do you remember that ringtone?
I had that one.
Oh, what an awful ringtone. Hello, Moto.
That was off the old Motorola Razor.
Oh, that's atrocious.
Here, let's have a listen to the start again. Hang on, here we go. You listen.
That's hilarious.
Hello, Moto.
Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway, keep your texts or WhatsApps coming in. 0877 98 98 98. What was the best phone you ever had? Okay.
Do you remember having this as your ringtone on your phone as well? Have a listen.
Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone. Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone.
Yeah, I do
Little
remember
story about that ringtone there. That ringtone was out.
hilarious.
Our Katie, because there's an age gap here and an intelligence gap. Katie doesn't realise what we're talking about. But this was a ringtone that people would have had in the late 90s. And I remember there being an incident of because in the late 90s there was such a thing as phone rage, because people weren't used to mobile phones and people used to get angry. And I remember being in a restaurant and the fella beside me had this on his phone.
Ring,
So-
ring,
It's
ring.
the best, beats the rest. Cellular, modular, interactive, modular. Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone.
Anyway, this asshole sitting beside me in the restaurant had his phone, he didn't have it on silent, and he had it on the table, and it kept ringing, and it was the banana phone ringtone, and the actual other customer sitting on the other side had to turn around to him and said, "Will you turn the bloody phone off?" It was ringing non-stop for about 10 minutes.
I do remember that ringtone. Yeah, keep your texts or WhatsApps coming in. The best phone ever, in your opinion. Now, obviously, your current phone, if you have a top-of-the-range current phone, is obviously the best, technologically wise. But what was the best phone for its day? Barry, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Barry?
Not so bad, man. Yourselves?
Good to hear you on the radio, Barry.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
How are things?
Now, Barry, what was your favourite phone?
Well, no, it was just you were asking what the name of that StarTAC or that Motorola phone was. I was just texting in that it was a StarTAC, Motorola StarTAC. That was a flip phone that you were sharing.
There
so
it is
it was
there.
called.
I'm looking at it. Was that it?
Oh, that was my phone. And I felt like I was Captain Kirk when I used to open.
Yeah.
I used to go Starship Enterprise, hello?
Yeah, no, it was a good phone all the same. I had one myself as well.
The Motorola StarTAC.
Yeah.
Wonder what that stood for. Star STA or TAC.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, that's how it was spelled. Either StarTAC or StarTech.
But honestly,
Yeah,
for 6 months after I bought that phone, I would answer the phone going, "Hello, Captain Kirk speaking."
Here, I'll make you feel really, really old, yeah? That phone was originally released 21 years ago in 1996. 1996. Oh. God, I feel old. Anyway, would you buy a 3310 if it came out?
I think I would, yeah. I've had one of them as well, and I have to say it was unreal now compared to the phones nowadays.
It was, wasn't it? It was just incredible.
And will it be the same, do you know, or is it going to be updated?
They say it's going to be a modern version of it. I imagine.
Yeah, surely it'll have 3G or 4G capability, will it?
But the screen is tiny on it, so you're not going to be surfing the net on it.
Yeah. It didn't even have a camera, sure it didn't?
No. It was atrocious. Anyway, thanks, Barry.
Hey, Barry, well, I have you there. Have you any tattoos?
Have any tattoos? No, I do not. I don't think I have that.
What one would you like?
Jesus.
What football team do you support?
Man United.
So would you like the little red devil on your left buttock?
Not particularly, no.
No, okay. Where would you like if I was to tattoo a little red devil on you? Where would you like it?
Would you believe I didn't get one priced here lately? I went to one in my rib cage, but they said for my first one they wouldn't do it in my rib cage. It was too sore.
No, I wouldn't get a tattoo on my rib cage.
I'd say it's fairly sore.
I'd say so, yeah, no. But I went in looking for it, and she frightened me with the price, and by saying she wouldn't do it, it was too sore.
And the problem about that is, Barry, as well, if you get a Man United crest tattooed on your body, and you end up dating a mayor, and the mayor doesn't like Man United.
Who refers to women as a mayor?
People from his part of the world. I'm trying to relate to him here.
Where are you from, Barry?
Come on, boys. Come on, Offaly.
Yeah, they call women mayors in Offaly.
Oh,
they do. Yeah, they do.
About 20 years ago they did.
They still do it. So if you end up dating a lass, is that what they call them? If you end up dating a lass and she doesn't like Man United, there's a big problem there.
Well, there is for her, maybe.
The reason I'm asking that, Adrian, is because tattoo artists, is that what they're called?
Yep.
Tattooists have revealed in an article in the Huffington Post today the 10 worst possible tattoos that people can get for pure tackiness. Okay? Now, I know most of you listening have a tattoo somewhere on your body, so don't take offence to this, but if you have one of these tattoos, you're tacky, you're cheap, you're crass, you're a shav, you're a scanger, basically. And this is according to tattoo artists who say that people get tattoos all the time, but for some reason, some people decide to permanently deface their body with tattoos that are just cringeworthy. So here are the big no-nos for tattoos.
I'll give you one.
Okay.
And I actually saw a girl with these only maybe 2 weeks ago, yeah?
Yes.
Paw prints on her boobs.
What?
Yeah, paw prints on her boobs. Little, like as if they were little cat paw prints on her boobies.
Tony the Tiger ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On her boobs.
Now, how do you feel about Tony the Tiger paw prints on a woman's boobs? Because I think they're great.
No, they're tacky looking.
I know they are.
But there was a phase that loads of women got them done, and I'd say a lot of women regret them now. I'd say a lot of women have them and don't even expose them anymore.
That's not actually listed, but Adrian's actually right. My learned friend is correct. If you have paw prints on your breasts, you lack class or ambition and will go nowhere in life. Is that what you're saying? Pretty much.
That's not exactly what I said.
Yeah, but who would hire a woman with paw prints on her boobs?
She'd just cover them up, wouldn't she?
Yeah, I suppose in most jobs you don't have to have your boobs out. Sure you don't.
No. Okay,
here's a list of the things. Song lyrics.
It depends.
Really?
It depends if they've some significant meaning for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, you're not going to have tattooed on your back, Scaramouche, Scaramouche, do the fandango.
Unless that song has a particular meaning for you.
Why would you get that tattooed on your back?
Well, I don't know why anyone would get any sort of a tattoo on any part of their body. But
well, no, I know.
That's just me.
I know a girl that has a tattoo on her lower back, and it says, and I quote, because I've seen this tattoo, "I'm sexy and I know it."
Really?
Yes, it does.
And is she sexy?
No. Women that say they're sexy are never sexy.
Right.
So song lyrics, yes or no?
Maybe.
Okay, what about crosses or religious signs? And it says here, don't get a religious sign tattooed on your body because you're probably not religious and it makes you look like an idiot. You know, these people put crosses.
Yeah, they don't offend me either now.
I mean, the only person that should really be allowed to get a tattoo of a cross on him is the Pope.
The priest.
Or the priest or the Pope. Would you agree? Football crests. Shavtastic, it says. Do you really want a football crest on your body? Now, I know a lot of you listening... a lot
of people listening have a football tattoo on them.
Yeah, the chances are you're probably listening from prison, though.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Do you not think football crests are scummy?
Well, text us. What do you think is the most tacky type of tattoo that you can possibly have?
An Irish flag. And that's not on the list, but... or up the Ra.
Text or WhatsApp us 0877 98 98 98. James, you're on 98 FM. How are you, James?
I'm good.
Good. Now, James, You're on about the phone on Trigger Happy TV.
Yeah, I think, possibly the funniest use of a large phone you ever saw in your life.
It was hilarious. Do you remember that, Jeremy?
Yeah, this was a hidden camera TV program with Dom Jolly, wasn't it? Or Don Jolly or something.
Dom Jolly, yeah.
And he'd walk around parks holding a phone that was about 6 foot high, and the phone would ring with the Nokia tone, and he'd go, "Hello, hello," and that was basically the TV program, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was it. Still makes me laugh.
Have you any tattoos, by the way?
None, thankfully.
Yeah, you sound like the type of man who wouldn't have a tattoo.
What do you sound like if you don't have tattoos?
He sounds like he's a barrister or something like that.
I couldn't say. I'd be shocked.
Yeah, you sound like you're in the law profession.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
no comment.
You're an accountant.
No comment.
I always worry, Adrian, when someone doesn't want to admit what they do for a living on the air.
I'm an undertaker.
You're a what? Really?
Wasn't expecting that answer.
No.
What was your favourite phone, James?
The Nokia on Trigger Happy TV. That's the one.
That was it.
I wish I had a phone that big.
And for those of you who have never seen it, Google it or YouTube it.
Lads, it wasn't a real phone.
No, it wasn't. But it was a very funny sketch.
It was a prop. It was a prop.
Yeah. And one last call on phones. Sharon, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Sharon.
Hiya, how's it going?
Sharon.
Before we continue this conversation, I have to ask, do you have any tattoos?
No, I'd love one though.
Really? And what age are you?
43.
That ship has sailed.
It's on my bucket list.
No,
it's on my bucket list.
No, that ship has sailed for you, my dear. That ship has sailed. You can't.
You're never too old to get a tattoo.
You can't go in and get a tattoo at 42 years of age.
Why not?
What?
I don't look it though. I only look about 22.
Now, so you were ringing. hang on. You were ringing about something that used to be on phones.
Yeah, do you remember the game Snake?
Adrian's actually playing it at the moment.
I'm actually playing it right now.
Oh my god, I love that game.
I have it on my iPhone, believe it or not.
All right.
Yeah, you can get it as an. Oh, hang on. Oh, you know I'm after missing it. You know the yoke that you get extra.
The little dots or something you could double up.
But the extra special one that pops up and you only have a couple of seconds to eat it. I'm after missing it. Damn it.
And it's real slow.
Yeah, no, hang on. Wait, do you hear now? I'm going to eat another one. Here we go. There we go. Look at that.
Lads, can we put the games away?
Oh, what
do you remember
game.
the other one though called Blocks, where you had to drop the bits of buildings on top of each other and make little city blocks, it was called.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, but it was on one of those. I don't think it was on the 3310, but it was on one of those old Nokias, yeah.
But I remember the phone that you could create your own ringtone on using a little, using different buttons. And I remember it took me 6 days to do Jingle Bells. Remember you could create your own ringtone, Adrian?
Yes.
Remember I had this little thing that it took the guts of a week for me just to do Jingle Bells, and it sounded nothing like Jingle Bells in the end. So are you going to go and get a tattoo?
It's on my bucket list, yeah, I have to do it.
And what tattoo would you like? Because I'm going to tell you what you can't have. You don't want paws on your boobs, do you?
No, I don't.
Here's another one that they've said is tacky. Bows on the backs of your legs.
Bows?
Yeah, I know a couple of girls that have those. Basically, bow tattoos on the backs of their legs.
Yeah. Like the tops of stockings.
Oh, it's vile looking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, don't get a tattoo in a foreign language. I know the big thing years ago was Chinese writing. There was women walking around with sweet and sour chicken written on their arms and backs. And now they're saying, in the last 5 years, it's now very on trend, Adrian, to get Arabic writing on your body.
Yes, it is. I actually saw a lady with Arabic writing on her lower back actually a couple of weeks ago.
And does she know what it says?
I didn't ask her. I didn't discuss it with her.
I actually think that looks quite nice.
But it depends.
It's quite artistic looking, you see.
Yeah,
Arabic writing is.
Yeah, but it depends what it says. I mean, if it says Abu Dhabi,
what's the point?
What's the point?
You know, but I actually think it looks quite artistic.
Yeah, but people said that about Chinese writing when it first came out. Oh, look at your Chinese writing on your back. When was the last time you saw a person with Chinese writing on their body?
Not for a long time.
No, because they all got them removed.
Here, get a load of this. You'll be just about tattoos. Yeah, you'll be able to relate to this. I work as a tattoo artist, says this message on WhatsApp. Yeah, yesterday I tattooed once a blue, always a blue on a guy from Dublin.
Wasn't me.
I thought blue as in Dublin, but no. It was for Everton.
Yeah.
The guy never stepped foot in England in his life. I cringed when I was asked to do it.
Now, I'm a blue. I'm an Everton supporter, but would I ever get an Everton football crest on my body? Not at all.
Once a blue, always a blue is what the tattoo said. Seriously. Yeah, if it was for a Dubs fan, I'd say maybe.
No, even that's tacky.
Yeah, it is a little
isn't
bit,
it?
yeah.
Also, getting the I don't know about this. This is controversial. Getting the date of birth of your child tattooed on you.
I don't mind that. Yeah, I think that's okay.
Why do you need to be reminded of it? What's the date of your firstborn?
My firstborn is the 27th of July.
Oh dear.
What?
Oh, you don't want to give the year, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, what about your young one?
The 6th of February.
Yeah, so you know the dates. Why do you need them tattooed on
Just in case you start going a bit senile.
But having them
have it on your arm there and you'll never forget their birthdays.
Getting any sort of brand, it's now commonplace for a lot of people to get a tattoo of the Nike sign. Seriously. Imagine having that on your arm, Nike, and just do it written underneath it.
It's a tad tacky, all right, yeah.
And finally they say, and I made this point, a flag of any country or your country of origin is a big mistake. For the love of God, don't do it. How much would I have to pay, Adrian, to get a tricolour tattooed on your arse?
A lot.
How much would you do it?
I wouldn't do it. Okay, finally, here is a list, and I want you to text or WhatsApp us again on this, of the most annoying things on Facebook. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
This is a list of 13 things that bug the living daylights out of people on Facebook, okay? One of the things that absolutely does my head in, and it is my pet hate, is getting messenger messages of these chain messages. Please pass this on to 10 people and save a life, or shite like that. It's absolute rubbish. And for anybody who's a friend of mine on Facebook, don't ever send me one of them, because I never send them on to anybody. I immediately delete them. I got one last night and I want to show you to you, Adrian, just because people won't believe this is actually true. So this came up on my timeline yesterday. Have a look and explain to people what it is. Looks like a photograph of Jesus. It's a photograph of Jesus doing the sign of the cross, and on top of it says, if you click like here, you will receive a miracle within the next hour. If you type amen, you will receive 2 miracles in the next hour in Jesus' name. 12,000 likes it got. Now I click like on the photograph because you're always afraid that when Jesus asks you to click like, you don't want to mess around. You don't want to mess around, and I'm still waiting for the miracle to happen. Well, actually, no, I did witness a miracle, because yesterday for my dinner I had a tray of milk chocolate, a full tray, and I don't have diabetes yet. That's a miracle, isn't it? It is a bit of a miracle, yeah. Why are we eating a whole tray of milk tray chocolate? We'd no dinner in the house, and I bought herself a tray of milk tray chocolate. And you ate them all? I literally ate them for my dinner yesterday. So for Valentine's Day you bought her milk tray and you ate half the box? Because there was nothing in the press to eat. I ate apart from the apple one. Oh, I think that's nice, actually. That has no business being in a milk tray box. I actually think it does. Apple? Anything with nuts in it, no. Apple in a chocolate? It is quite nice, actually. No, I'm sorry, Cadbury's, you need to get rid of the apple chocolate out of the milk tray. What are you doing eating a whole tray of milk tray? That's disgusting. Once you get going, you can't. Anyway, I want you to text me right now. What is the most annoying thing on Facebook? The single most annoying thing. So chain messages are one of them. Gym selfies on Facebook. No, I disagree with that completely. No, absolute vain losers. No, it's not vain losers. It is absolute vain losers. You are vain losers. Nobody gives a shit whether you were in the gym or not. Oh, but my photograph doing a bench press. I couldn't care less. No, but my 160k. Brilliant. Well done. It got 7 likes. It's pathetic. Nobody wants to see people checking in at the gym and photographs of you in the gym. Nobody cares. Honestly. 7 likes. Honestly. Actually, do you know what really annoys me? Yeah. Photographs taken in the mirror of any type. How vain are you that you're taking a photograph of yourself in the mirror? Or in the toilet. Or in the toilet, yeah. What is it with women taking photographs? Okay, text us now, 0877 98 98 98. The type of people and posts that annoy you on Facebook. Now on the list, Adrian, checking in at a hospital. It actually is. Yeah. It's number 13, yeah. Or checking in at the VHI clinic. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so because that's on the list. If you check in at the VHI clinic, not only are you a gobshite for checking in at a hospital, but you're also pompous, because what you're saying is, I have VHI health insurance. Look at me. Somebody texted in, Chris texted in to say, what bugs me is a picture of a sick child with the title, "Say Amen to save this child's life." Now, I find those grotesque. And I've seen them. And do you know what I find even worse? The people who share it and send it on to you. First of all, calm down. No, it annoys me. People who share stupid posts like that and send them on. You're not going to save any child's life. Is this one on the list? Parents who say happy birthday to their children on Facebook when the child's 5 years of age and isn't even on Facebook.
I want to say a very happy birthday. It's always birthday, by the way.
Yeah.
I want to say a very happy birthday to Jordan, who's 5 today. He's the best kid in the world, and I'm the luckiest man in the world. Jordan isn't on Facebook. He didn't see the post. Say it to his face, you stupid woman.
Here's another one that we just got in by text. People that put pictures of their dinner. Nobody cares what you're having for your dinner. Oh, actually, I get really annoyed over this.
Let me stop you there then.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're saying none of this is allowed, yeah?
Yeah. What is allowed?
What's Facebook for then?
It's not for photographs of your dinner.
What's it for then?
It's not for photographs of you in the gym. It's not for photographs of check-in at a hospital.
Well, what's it for then? The one thing I don't get about checking in hospitals is hospitals don't even have free Wi-Fi. You're using up your data to check in just so that people will message you going, oh, what's up, hon? Are you okay, hon?
Well, actually, somebody just texted that. This rubbish saying I'm devastated or I'm upset, and then usually people say, you okay, hon? Or, oh my God, PM me, hon? Or, I hear, hon? Or, I'm here, hon?
Well, now, can I just, a person I know very well put up a post on Facebook there the other night, and I want to read it out.
Yeah, go on, yeah.
You may or may not know this person, and it says, it's a check-in at a pub.
Yeah,
okay. And the post shows a pint of Budweiser. Fair enough.
Lovely.
It actually looks like Budweiser Light, so that person could or may not be on a diet at the moment. And the post says, I'm out having a celebratory pint.
Very good, yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Only a handful of people will know why I'm celebrating.
Yes, very good.
But I'm very happy. Cryptic, I know, but I'll explain all soon. 31 likes.
Very good, yeah.
That one got cryptic posts on Facebook. How does that rest with you?
I'm not into cryptic posts. Believe it or not,
I think it's attention seeking.
It's number one on the list.
Yeah, it's attention seeking.
Cryptic posts.
I mean, that particular Facebook friend of mine, why didn't he just tell people why he was out celebrating?
Well, maybe he couldn't.
Well, why couldn't he? Well, then why put it up?
Ring him and ask him.
But that's like me saying to you, I've news for you, Adrian. I've big news for you. I can't tell you what it is,
You do that all the time. All right, yeah, all the time, doesn't he? Yeah, Katie's agreeing with me.
What?
You regularly say, oh, I've got some really juicy gossip. I was talking to this person and guess what I heard? Yeah, go on. I can't tell you.
But this particular...
Same thing.
This particular person who remained nameless, Adrian Kennedy, that put up this post, Adrian Kennedy, checking in at the pub, what did he hope to achieve? What did you hope to achieve by putting that post
up? I'll throw that right back at you. What do you hope to... You never guess the gossip I just heard. Oh my God, you won't believe it. Yeah, go on, tell us. No, I can't tell you.
Only a handful...
Doesn't he do that all the time, Katie? Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Only a handful of people will know why I'm celebrating. Can I just be honest with you here and now and be blunt with you? Yeah. Nobody cares about your life.
You do?
Nobody cares about your miserable celebratory drink.
Here, Paul, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Paul?
How's it going, Adrian?
What annoys you on Facebook?
People putting up photographs at dinner.
Why though?
Oh, Jesus, you could be time or a hangover or something. Someone's putting up a big sloppy fry or a big dinner or something.
Yeah, nobody cares. We all eat dinner every day.
We all eat dinner. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not into anyone else's dinner. I'm into my own. You know what I mean?
No, that's fair enough. Okay, someone putting up a photograph of their 3-in-1 that they just got in the local Chinese. Yeah. That's obviously bogey. But if you've created a masterpiece of roast loin of pork with roast potatoes and Yorkshire pudding and gravy and it looks...
everyone else is able to do that. No, it's pathetic.
My missus isn't able to do it.
Shannon!
Yeah?
Shannon, what annoys you on Facebook?
Game request.
Oh.
Have you any tattoos, Shannon?
No, I've piercings though, but no tattoos.
Where are your piercings?
Just on my ears, thankfully. I won't get them like kind of on the front. I don't think my job would be too happy about it.
Have you got that piercing that goes through the not the lobe of your ear, but what's that other part of the ear called?
The scaffold. It's like there's like 2 piercings.
Oh, it's like a bar,
that's the one I have. That's the one I have.
No, not true. Not. Well, that's disgusting. You don't mind me saying so. The bar going through the 2 parts of your ear. But you know the other part of your ear, the bit that's above your lobe. What's that part called, Adrian? Look.
Oh, the tragus. It's like the hard part. I don't know what it's called. The ear.
What's it called?
A tragus, and I think it's called tragus anyway.
I never knew that was called a tragus.
Game requests annoy you. Duck selfies annoy people. You know, why do people do that?
Yeah.
Sharing competitions over and over. When people go live on Facebook, but they didn't say or do anything. Oh.
We're live on Facebook at the moment and we're not doing or saying anything.
No, we're not really.
Anyway, let me just finish up with this one more time. Check in. Can I name the pub?
This is 98 FM
Celebratory
Dublin
Pint.
Talks.
Only a handful.
There you go. Good luck. Bye.
This is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
With Adrian Kennedy.
This is 98FM's Dublin Talks, morning and night between 10 and 12. This is Adrian Kennedy with you at Dublin's 98FM. I want to read a message that came in to us yesterday. Okay, I want you to have a listen very closely to this message from a guy called Keith, and I want to get your reaction to this. Could I please ask you to bring up a topic on your show, if you don't mind? Me and my bird are together 2 years, and she regularly keeps in touch with her ex, who she was with for a year and a half, which I am not too happy about. But yesterday she really pissed me off when she said she is meeting him for lunch next week for a catch-up. We're having war over it. Why would she want to catch up with her ex? An ex is an ex for a reason. I don't want her to go, but she said she's going anyway, and they are just mates. I think exes can never be just mates unless they want more. Am I thinking too much into it, or do I need to stand my ground? And that's from a guy called Keith. And it is a very thorny issue for a lot of couples. How would you feel if you discovered that your boyfriend or your girlfriend had met their ex for coffee and a chat? Would you be angry? Would you suspect that something was going on? Or is the idea of someone meeting their ex for lunch completely normal, just like meeting a friend? Well, as you've heard from Keith's message, he is not happy at all. He is seething at the thought that his girlfriend is going out for lunch with her ex. I'd like to hear from you on 6797 981. You can also text us on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Do you see anything wrong in keeping in contact with an ex? So I'll read his message again. He says, I've been with her for 2 years and she regularly keeps in contact with her ex, who she was with for a year and a half, which I'm not happy about. But yesterday she really pissed me off when she said she is meeting him for lunch next week for a catch-up. We're having war over it. Why would she want to catch up with her ex? An ex is an ex for a reason. I don't want her to go, but she said she's going anyway, and they're just mates. I think exes can never be just mates unless they want more. Am I thinking too much into this, or should I stand my ground? Well, I'd love to hear from you on this on 6797 981. You can also text or WhatsApp the programme on 087 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Now, there's no suggestion, for example, some people argue if you've children with your ex, then you kind of have to stay in touch with them. There's no suggestion in this message that there's any children involved. Niamh, you're on Dublin's 98FM. How are you, Niamh?
Good, Adrian. How are you?
Grand, thank you, Niamh. You think that this guy's just being jealous?
Yeah, I think he needs to cop on. I mean, for a start, he's with her longer than she was with her ex. So that's
true. Yeah, that's true.
If she wanted to be still with him, she would be. And at the end of the day, there's an awful lot of people that can't be in a relationship because it just doesn't work. But it works brilliantly as friends. Once you take the stress of the relationship part away from it, the friends bit can work really, really well. Okay, but a lot of people worry that, you have history with an ex. In this case, there's no children involved, so they don't have to stay in touch. I mean, that can be used as an excuse. But as far as you're concerned, there is no harm in meeting an ex for lunch or coffee or whatever. Exactly. He's, meeting somebody for lunch and a coffee is absolutely fine. If she was going away on weekends with him, I'd have an issue. But, I mean, meeting for coffee, meeting for lunch, it's exactly the same thing as if he wants to meet one of his friends. If this guy hadn't had a relationship with her, I wonder would he have a problem, or does he just have an issue with her having male friends in general? You see, well, that's a good question, actually. I can't answer that. But when it comes to an ex, a lot of people say that you can't be friends with your ex, that you have history, and it makes it very, very difficult
that history or that relationship that you have could be rekindled again. That's obviously what he's worried about, and you have to understand that.
I understand it, but I think it depends on how good their relationship is. I mean, if you're in a really good relationship and you're happy with the person, it doesn't matter, how much friends you are with your ex. You're happy with the person you're with now. As I said, if she wanted to be with him, she could be. I'm sure she could, maybe she couldn't go back to him, but, I'm sure that if they're friends, they've both talked about it and they're happy being friends. Maybe their relationship didn't work. They couldn't stand being in a relationship together, but they're obviously good at being friends.
All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797 981 is our telephone number. 0877 98 98 98 if you want to send us a text or a WhatsApp message. 0877 98 98 98. Now, make a note of that number in your phone, by the way, because handy one to just have. And just put it in your phone as 98FM text. You can't ring that number. You can only text us on that number, which is 0877 98 98 98. But if you want to call us, pick up the phone and call us on 6797 981. We're talking about, and I'll read it to you again. This is a message from a guy called Keith. Can I please ask Giz, is what he wrote, to bring up a topic on your show if you don't mind. Me and my bird are together 2 years and she regularly keeps in contact with her ex who she was with for a year and a half, which I am not too happy about. But yesterday she really pissed me off when she said she is meeting him for lunch next week for a catch-up. We're having war over it. Why would she want to catch up with an ex? An ex is an ex for a reason. I don't want her to go, but she said she's going anyway and that they are just mates. I think exes can never be just mates unless they want more. Am I thinking too much into it, or do I need to stand my ground? Ross, you're on 98FM. How are you, Ross?
How's it going, Adrian? You well?
Well, Ross, what do you make of Keith's email? He is very upset and annoyed over the girlfriend going off for lunch with the ex. What do you think of that?
Get rid of her. Dump her.
Get rid of her?
Yeah, because in all honesty, like, if she doesn't care about his feelings about meeting up with her ex, you said that they've thought about it before, which means it has come up before. So if she's constantly in contact with this lad and not, like, going and listen to what her boyfriend is saying, then she shouldn't be there.
Okay, but if they have a good, strong relationship, they're together 2 years, they obviously know each other fairly well after 2 years. If he's confident in the relationship, then he shouldn't have anything to worry about, should he?
Well, yeah, well, that's true, you shouldn't have it, but when it comes to exes, like, there's something there, there was something there, you don't know, like, you know what I mean? You
so it's not
what kind of relationship they had, was it, like,
a passionate relationship, or
was it like that, or did it just not get along, but like, in all honesty, like, her boyfriend doesn't want her to meet up with this lad, and she's doing it anyway.
Okay, so it's different then, in your opinion, it's different than having a male friend, for example, just a male friend.
Well, it's not a male friend, it's an ex. It's completely different, like, you know what I mean?
I mean, Niamh, he does have a point. It's, if you had an issue with your boyfriend or girlfriend having an opposite sex friend, that would be different to them being friends with their ex, because they do have history.
Yeah, I'd actually be more concerned about somebody having a friend rather than an ex. I mean, if you have an ex, you know that it didn't work because they're an ex. But when you're friends with somebody, there can be that thing of, oh God, I wonder. Do you know what I mean? And then there can be the option of maybe just pushing it to see if it happens, say, on a drunken night out. But the other thing is, she's been really honest with him. She's told him she's going. She could have gone anyway. And then he could have found out and then said, oh, well, you didn't tell me you were going. What's going on? But you couldn't tell me. She's honest with him. And she's saying straight to his face, look, there's nothing going on. I'm just meeting him for lunch. If she really wanted something to happen, she'd be meeting him behind his back. She's not going to tell him she's going.
That's true. She didn't have to tell him, and that's a sign of trust, Ross, is it not? That she actually told him that she's going.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, she told him, but like, his feelings should matter. Like, if it was the opposite way around, like, you know what I mean, she wouldn't be happy that he was meeting up with an ex. Like, it's okay. Okay, you said meeting up with an ex just for lunch and all that, but like I said, they had something there before. They could go out for a bit of a lunch, have a bit of a laugh, realise, okay, what happened between us? Why didn't it happen between us? And then
it can rekindle. In fact, I'm watching a television show at the moment where there's that exact storyline in it that this couple are together and she actually bumps into her ex and they go out for lunch and before you know it, they're snogging each other again. And that is the risk, Niamh, is it not?
It is the risk. I mean, the risk is always there, but I just think that she's been honest about it. She's told him.
Yeah, but he loves her that much that he doesn't want something like this to happen. Like he's trying to tell her, look, I don't want you seeing your ex, and she obviously doesn't care about his feelings enough to say, okay, I'm with you now. You're my love, and I'm not going to go.
So if you were in that if you were in that situation, Ross, you would you'd get rid of her, would you? If she went ahead with it.
Well, I'm with my girlfriend 8 years now. We have a child and all, so obviously be a bit different. But yeah, if I was just going out with a girl 2 years and she said, oh, hey, look, I'm meeting up for her next for a bit of lunch, and then I'm meeting up with him again for whatever, how long I've been meeting up, I'd be upset over it.
All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797 981 is our telephone number. 0877 98 98 98 is our text or WhatsApp number. How do you feel, or how would you feel, if your other half was having lunches with their ex? Would you put the foot down and say no, or would you say, yeah, grand, no problem, we're together, I'm happy enough in my skin, you go off and meet whoever you like? Because Keith is in a situation where they're together 2 years, but she is regularly in contact with her ex and announced to him the other day that she's meeting him for lunch next week. And he's obviously feeling a little bit put out by this. I'd like to hear from you. Sean, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Sean?
Adrian, how are you doing?
Sean, you think it's good to keep in contact with exes?
My attitude, they're always so liberal on this show, but, absolutely, why not? She's with him, she loves him, 2 years. She's meeting a guy in X for a coffee. What's the big deal? Why the bloody controlling behaviour,
Is that what you see it as, controlling behaviour?
Absolutely. We're all free people. We can go and come where we want. There's no big hang-up. She obviously proclaimed her love to him. She's with him. She told him. And she's meeting someone for a catch-up. That was an important part of her life. She wants to find out what he's doing now. Where is he going in life? And
I know, but as he says in his message, an ex is an ex for a reason, and you kind of have to leave that chapter of your life behind you.
Absolutely not. No, because it's very common, this issue. People break up all the time, and some people, of course, no contact and all that. I'd be the complete opposite. To decouple, as I put it. So basically, not in a relationship, but remain good friends. Any ex I've ever had, I've remained good friends with them to this day.
Really?
And yeah, there's absolutely, it's no biggie,
And has it ever caused any issues in subsequent relationships?
I wouldn't let it. If I'm in a relationship and it is an issue, that would be quickly dealt with. It's simply meeting up for a coffee or meeting up for lunch. It's a catch up.
So when you hear somebody like this, and I know a lot of people listening now, when you have this conversation, they would have a huge issue with their boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or whatever going off and meeting an ex for a cup of coffee, and maybe it's insecurity. Is that what it is?
Yes. The problem is with that guy, he's in a bit of a mood over it, and he's advising her not to. The problem is there. The more he makes up a fuss about it and the more he argues with her, the more likely is she's going to want to rebel against him. So I'd advise him to agree with her. Yeah, it might be upsetting and everything, but agree. And bear in mind, she is with me. She's going to meet him for a lunch or whatever. It's no big deal. If you look he'll drive her away if he keeps up with that attitude and behaviour.
That is the risk, Ross. He could shove her away. He could drive her away if... he starts throwing his toys out of the pram.
Yeah, well, that's true. You know what I mean? There's loads of scenarios that could happen. But the way he's feeling, I'd say, is he's afraid to lose her, and he's afraid to lose her to an ex that she had something with before. If it was just a friend, fair enough, but not someone you were passionate about before.
Adrian.
Yes, go on. Yeah.
The modern woman demands a lot in a man. Times have changed. No woman needs a man anymore. And women nowadays, they want a man that's cool, confident, calm, and somewhat alpha. They don't need anyone who's needy, insecure, pushy. If you're like that, you're gone. That's it.
All right, stay there for 1 second. James, you're on Dublin's 98 FM. How are you, James? Now, James, you were in this situation too.
I was, yeah, a good few years now. I was, Nate. Yeah, my wife now, she was seeing her ex. Well, she met up with him a couple of times, went for dinner, went for lunch, like, you know what I mean? But I was the exact same way as your man was.
Okay, you were bothered by it.
I was, yeah, very bothered by it.
And do you feel you were justifiably bothered by it?
I do feel I was, yeah. Of course I do, yeah. I am a jealous person anyway. I still am, even though she is my wife now, I still am a bit jealous sometimes. But she's a lovely woman.
Well, you can't get much more commitment than being your wife.
No, you can't. No, of course you can't, no, but you still be jealous of. Every man will be jealous as well.
Okay, so you can understand why he's having a bit of a hissy fit over this.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. It takes time for how long. I only caught half the conversation.
He's with her 2 years, and he's bothered by the fact that she's meeting her ex for lunch next week. He's really bothered by it.
2 years, I wouldn't be bothered. No, not after 2 years. No, unless you have problems in the relationship up till now. But if they don't, I wouldn't be bothered about it. And my wife at the time, my wife now, at the time when we were just together, I think it was just a couple of months we were together, and she was meeting her ex for lunch. She was with him for a while before she got with me. So I was upset, and I was jealous, and I did lose my rag sometimes.
And you think it's perfectly reasonable for a guy to be upset about, or a woman for that matter? I think women might be just as bad, to be honest, in terms of being a bit jealous about it. But you think that's a perfectly normal reaction?
It is perfect normal reaction. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, 2 years, you still be jealous, no matter what. But still, it is only a little bit of lunch, and yeah, every man will be jealous. Even any woman will be jealous if they're. What if people turn around and told her like that? Well, look, I'm going to see my ex for lunch.
And you see, I wonder how she would feel about that as well. Okay, but I wanted to stay there for 1 second, James, because I want to run a very quick Dublin Talks text poll. Okay, and here's the question I want to ask you. Would it bother you, and I just want you to answer yes or no, would it bother you if your other half met their ex for lunch? Okay? So what I want you to do is just text the word yes or the word no to 0877 98 98 98. Would it bother you if your other half were to go for lunch with their ex? Just text the word yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. I'd be very interested actually to see how this plays out. So the question once again is, would it bother you if your other half went for lunch with their ex? Just text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. Okay, so just yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. And so far, straight off the bat, I can see, and I'll give you the results of this in a couple of minutes, I can see the majority of you are saying yes, you would have a problem with it. So just text the word yes or the word no, please, to 0877 98 98 98. The question once again is, would it bother you if your other half went for lunch with their ex? Simply text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. I'll give you the results of that in a couple of minutes, so get your votes into us right now. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. We're in the middle of a conversation, all to do with a message that we got from a guy called Keith. Keith is a little bit upset. He's hurt. His girlfriend is going for lunch next week with her ex. He says he's been with her for 2 years, but she has always kept in contact with her ex, and it's something I've never been happy about. But yesterday she really pissed me off when she said she's meeting him for lunch next week for a catch-up. We're having war over it. Why would you want to catch up with an ex? You're an ex for a reason. I don't want her to go because I don't want her to go, but she said she's going anyway, and they are just mates. I think exes can never be just mates. They want more. Am I thinking too much into it? Do I need to stand my ground? Now, before the break, we ran a very quick Snap Dublin Talks text poll where we asked you, would it bother you if your other half went for lunch with an ex? Here's the results of that poll. Okay, really quick Snap poll. 79% of you said yes, you would have a problem with it. 79% said yes. 21% of you said it wouldn't bother you, but 79% of people who texted in thought it was unacceptable. Ciara, 79% of our listeners would not be happy with their other half going out with the ex. What do you make of that?
I think that's ridiculous. Seriously.
Why, are these a load of insecure people?
Definitely. My partner, when I first met him, used to go to his ex's house because he was friends with our family, her brothers, and never had a problem with it.
It never bothered you?
No, well, I had a glimmer of it with the odd time, but if he was going to do it, and he was going to do it, so I'd rather do it at the start.
I know, but you're making it easier. I mean, it's easier to do something if you're going out for lunch.
Anyway, unless you're stuck to your partner's side 24/7, and that doesn't work either.
So what? You need to have trust in a relationship.
Of course.
So when you
don't have trust, you've nothing.
So the 79% of people who said that they would have an issue, I asked, would it bother you? And 79% said yes, it would bother them. These are just insecure people?
Yeah, basically.
Well, there you are, Ross. It's a sign of absolute insecurity if you'd have a problem with this.
No, it's a sign of the majority of the people out there are right. Like, it's just something that you don't do. Like, for example, he said there that they've argued about it before, and then she said she's going for lunch and she doesn't care.
But and what's going to happen? What's going to happen if he keeps arguing with her over that?
But what's going to happen if she keeps meeting up with this dude?
He's going to push her away.
But it's the same thing if she keeps meeting up with this dude, and he's just going to get like, okay, like, you don't care how I feel. See you later. But hang on, but she is saying there's nothing to worry about. I'm just meeting him for lunch. We're just buddies. Get over it, basically.
If they were going to a nightclub every weekend, he'd have a point. If they were going out and getting pissed together, but they're going to a cafe to sit and have a chat.
Yeah, but he said
they're hardly going to be ripping each other's clothes off over coffee, are they?
Yeah, but you never know.
In fairness,
but the argument here is, Ciara, that one thing can lead to another.
It can,
they were together
it can happen with someone that you've never been with. It can happen with anyone. If it's going to happen, it'll happen. But if you're going to spend your life being insecure, well, you're only going to make yourself miserable.
But no, it's not as if like it's just like, oh, I'm going for lunch with my ex. He said that they've argued about this before, and
yeah,
now
my
she's
partner
going for
went
lunch.
to his ex's house, spoke to her while she was in her bedroom. Didn't bother me.
I got a text. I just got a text in a second ago to say my boyfriend stays in touch with his ex. It didn't bother me until I saw a text on his phone from her the other day with an X at the end of the text, the letter X, like a kiss at the end of a text from her. So,
oh my God, a kiss at the end of the message.
Yeah, but that's how it happens. Like that's where it goes from. Like a little X turns into a little 2 or 3 X's.
At the end of every message.
Yeah, but she didn't. Obviously,
I know, but you have to see how that person would have a problem with that, Ciara. It might bother them that they're staying in touch.
If you went up and kissed her on the lips, I'd have a problem with that now. But
well, stay there for 1 second. Declan, you're on 98FM. How are you, Declan? Declan, according to Ciara here, 79% of people who say they would have a problem with this are all insecure.
Well, I'd say Ciara there now is a little bit insecure in herself. That now he'll be going up to our ex. Now,
no, he doesn't anymore. He did when he first met me.
How do you know?
He wasn't going to her. He was going to her.
How do you know? How do you know?
Because I know him. I'm best friends.
No, you don't know what happens.
I thought his ex-girlfriend.
You don't know what happens behind closed doors.
Declan, let me ask you: are you in a relationship?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and she tells you next week, I'm going for lunch with my ex. What are you going to say?
Bring your bags with you.
That'd make you happy, would it?
Make me? I wouldn't, no.
No. So
but if she's not happy with me and she wants to go with her ex, off you go. There's your bag.
Yeah, if she wants to go with him, she's not going anywhere with him. She's
you're just jealous because you're a bloke, yeah? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm very happy and secure in my relationship.
I don't think
living together 11 years, 2 children later, so
I don't think so.
We've been doing all right so far.
No, I don't think so, hon.
I do.
No.
Okay, so Declan, your other half says I'm going out for lunch with my ex next week. You're going to say Not on my watch. We're finished if you do.
If you do, there's the bags.
Okay, but what would bother you about that? Why would you be so upset about it? I mean, Ciara's saying you need to trust. So if she's saying she's going for lunch with her ex, and you say,
why are the arguing about it all the time? And it seems to be the ex all the time. So if she wants to be with the ex more than she wants to be with Keith, but I think Keith should say, listen, love, there's your bags, be with your man. Good luck.
Is it fairness, right? If she was meeting him every single week, that'd be a bit dodgy.
A lot about this.
But if it's only every now and again, then I don't see a problem. Hello?
No, not a hope in China. No way. Simple as.
Do you not understand that, Ciara? Do you not understand why 79% of people who texted into us say, no, it would just do my head in?
But I'm his partner, I'm not his mother. If he was telling me what to do every day, I'd come out.
Well, there you go, Declan. You don't own her. You've no right to dictate to her.
I want to do what I want to do, so I'm not going to say...
Well, if she's not happy with what I'm providing for her and bringing her out and spoiling her and all that, well, fair enough.
Yeah, but she's only meeting somebody... She's only meeting somebody who's a friend for lunch.
Whoever. No, I don't... That's BS. No,
okay, so say, for example, I have a female friend who I haven't seen for 20 years, okay? She lives abroad, and if she were to come home to Ireland, I'd meet her at the drop of a hat. Now, she was never a girlfriend, she was just a friend and a colleague many years ago. Now, if I met her for lunch, do you think my missus should have a problem with that?
No.
So what's the difference then?
The difference is you're a man and she's a woman.
Look.
There you go, Adrian.
Keith has the problem with this ex, yeah? Now, the ex is bleeding. They're fighting all the time about this ex, yeah? So what I'd say to Keith is, I hope you're listening, Keith, is if she goes to lunch with your man tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, tell her to bring the bags with her, and boy with her. Off with her.
You see, a lot of people, Declan, would think that that's the attitude of a Scobie. That do you know what I mean? You need to have trust in a relationship. You're behaving like a Scobie. You really are.
Not at all. No, it's common sense, man. Come on, would you like your do you fight over your exes?
No, not really.
Come on now.
No, not really.
So if your missus came into you tomorrow and said, "Listen, I'm going out with my ex tomorrow night. You got to ring me up there out of the blue." Would you have a problem?
I may have, yeah, okay, oh, all right. I may have, yeah, okay, I may have.
Of course you have.
But if it were a cup,
off the head.
If it were a cup of coffee, I don't know if I'd have a problem with it.
You'd have a problem, you know you would. Now, don't be in denial here now, Adrian.
All right, stay there for 1 second. Stay there for 1 second, Declan. 6797 981 is our telephone number. 0877 98 98 98 is our text number. Rocky, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Rocky?
Not too bad, Adrian.
Good. Well, welcome to Dublin Talks, Rocky. What did you want to say on this?
I just wanted to say, Adrian, I was when I was finishing school, Adrian, I met a girl, a lovely girl. I get to the point that I'm actually married to her now, but we were going out for about 3.5 years, Adrian. Look, I went my separate way, so did she. She was with someone else, I was with someone else, and then I met her in town one night, Adrian, at a bar. We just had a chat, nice friendly chat. I was with my missus, she was with her friend, just seeing each other or whatever, and I arranged to meet her then a couple of days later. Then I met her in a cafe in town, just to have a bit of lunch, just a bit of a catch up, because I knew her from school, you know what I mean? And then she texted me then after that there, what are you up to, what's going on, whatever, and I met up with her a couple of times after that, Adrian. We ended up getting back together, and we're actually married now the last 2 years.
So when you hear somebody like Ciara, she's saying it should be no problem. If you've trust in your relationship, it should be no issue at all.
No, I'd have a problem with it, Adrian, because seeing how I end up meeting my wife, look, I'm happily married now, we have a kid and everything, but seeing how I met my wife, and like she was with someone else after me and I was with someone else after her, but then we met up again, friendly, like I had no intentions of doing that, Adrian, honestly, seriously, and like, she was very nice. I knew I was in school, I was just catching up with her, like, what's the story, how's Tom getting on and all this kind of, and then I just, I can't really explain it, Adrian, we just kind of fell in love again, and then
Ciara, that's the point I was making earlier on. That's what can happen.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it can't happen. Of course it can. It's human nature, but if it's going to happen, it'll happen.
So because of your track record, Rocky, it would bother you?
It would bother me.
And can you understand how 79% of people in our poll said it would bother them too?
I just said, of course, I can totally understand that, Adrian. And look at anybody that doesn't have a problem with it. Look at this, and that's that. If they're comfortable, that's 100%. That's no problem. But I'm just saying, myself personally, I'd have a problem with it for the simple reason why I was with someone else, she was with someone else, and we just met up friendly, as I said at first. And I don't know what happened. Whatever happened. You know what I mean? And now we're married, so I see where other people would have a problem with it, because they can happen, and I really don't think you can be friends with your ex, Adrian. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know. That doesn't mean it's a right one or a wrong one, but that's just my opinion.
Okay, stay there for 1 second. I have to take a very quick break, but I'm going to talk to Kelsey straight after that break. Kelsey, you made him dump all his ex's stuff that he had.
Yes, Adrian. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Men are beasts. You know that. You say it on the show all the time.
We are a beast. We are an animal.
And these are naive girls ringing in today.
And so when you got with your boyfriend, what? You made him chuck anything that had anything to do with his ex away?
Everything, Adrian. What's the point in him having the stuff? Like, you can't be friends with your ex. He was with someone for 3 years, right? Now, she was Asian. And again, I don't know what he saw in her. So, he definitely upgraded to me. So I guess what my point would be is that it doesn't even matter what they look like. Men just go for one thing. So you can't trust any of them.
I think you can trust some of them.
No, you really can't, Adrian. You can't trust any of them. They're out for one thing and one thing only. They don't even care. Girls get, I'm very good looking, right? And I know that.
Yeah, I'm very good looking. Yeah.
No, but, I am, so his ex wasn't. And, when I look at her, I would kind of go, what would you see in her? She was Asian. She didn't really have anything.
If she wasn't that good looking, why would you have had a problem with him seeing her?
Well, I have a problem with him seeing her because, you can't trust men and they're out for one thing. So it doesn't matter what they look like. That's my point. So,
but anyway, tell me what happened when... Tell me what happened when you got with him. You made him get rid of everything that was anything to do with her.
Well, he left her for me, obviously. And, so, I was away for a week in Spain and he had her laptop in his house and he wanted to meet up with her to give it back. And I was saying, I was away at the time and I made sure that he wasn't going to do that. So I rang my friend to follow him.
And
he didn't do it. He didn't do it.
So you made him destroy...
She followed him around for pretty much that week. She stalked him.
Kira, she's basically saying you can't trust anyone and basically just say no.
Kira's naive.
Kira, what would you say to that? You're naive.
I don't think I'm naive, but if she can't trust any man, then why is she in a relationship? Why doesn't she just go around?
No, Kira, it's not about trusting any man.
It is.
They're beasts.
Of course it is.
They are beasts. You can't trust any of them.
They are animals, not right, Adrian.
They are animals. And you know what? I bet if you look through your partner's phone or his Facebook, I guarantee you'll see some suspicious activity, because that's what I see.
No, my partner very rarely goes on Facebook. And
I guarantee
he would willingly hand me his phone and walk out of the room. So I can't look through it if I want to.
Well, he obviously has a hidden phone then.
He doesn't have it.
They're dodgy.
So let me ask you, Kelsey.
Yeah, well, 11 years he hasn't cheated with 2 kids, so
you see, okay, hang on. Kira is saying you have to trust. You have to have trust in a relationship. Do you not agree with that, Kelsey?
No, I don't.
Oh, you just don't trust any man?
No, you just can't trust any man.
Maybe you should become a lesbian then. Maybe you trust women more.
Adrian, I'm not going to become a lesbian, okay? Because I'm not attracted to women.
Though, if you don't trust anyone, don't have a relationship, you're only going to make yourself miserable.
That's just the way of life, Kira. That's the way of life.
I know it is, but you're making yourself miserable by not trusting.
Men were designed to breed.
I had a very bad relationship before this one. Very
Kira, listen to me
relationship.
Listen to me for a second. Men were not designed to be in a relationship for 10 years, 20 years. Men were designed to
make
my
partner's in a relationship for 11 years, so...
Well, they're not designed to do that, and they don't do that.
Okay, so
I bet you cheated on your wife.
No.
Well, I wouldn't...
all men have they?
I'd say you have at one stage, yeah.
All men have?
Yeah.
Are women not as bad?
No, I don't think women are as bad at all. We have a sensitive side to us, Adrian, that men just don't have.
Well, stay there for 1 second. Aisling, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Aisling.
Hiya.
She would not allow her fella have anything whatsoever to do with his ex.
Right, he's a psycho board.
I am not a psycho bird.
I know, I'm sorry. You came on, the first words out of your mouth was, he was with her for 3 years, Asian girl, don't know what he's seeing in her. She upgraded, obviously. Like, seriously, get over yourself.
No, but you know when you're good looking. You know when you're good looking, and I am good looking. I'm going to admit it. Most people don't admit it. They say, "Oh, sorry, I don't."
Right, but if you're that good looking, why would you think he's going to go out looking somewhere else? If you think you are that perfect and that brilliant, why would he go looking somewhere else?
Take any celebrity, and most of them cheated on it.
No, but answer the question. If you're as stunning as you say, you egotistically said you were a couple of minutes ago, why would he want to look elsewhere if you're that gorgeous?
That's just what men are like, Adrian. You can't trust them. You could be a supermodel and they'll still do it.
I think you're hilarious. I really do.
I think you're stupid. That's what I think.
Can I ask you, Aisling, do you think it is okay for somebody in a relationship to meet their ex?
No, I don't. No, I wouldn't do that.
Well, then you're in agreement with her.
Yeah. No. No, she's just taking it above and beyond there. I wouldn't have my friend stalking him whilst he was away or anything like that.
Well, Aisling, if you don't do that...
I wouldn't like him to go anywhere with his ex-girlfriend. I wouldn't like him to be saying, I'm going to lunch with her next week and it's just going to be the two of us and we're going to have a catch-up. No, I wouldn't like it. Nobody would like it. In all truth, nobody would like it, but we're not going to go on psycho like you're going on, that you're going to have your friends following him around and...
He knew she was going to follow him. And that's the thing, Adrian. That's the thing. If I don't keep a watch on him, he could easily go off. You know,
I could understand where he'd be coming from if you wanted to do that. Stay there for a second. Teresa, you're on 98 FM. Hiya, Teresa. Hello, Teresa.
Hiya.
How are you, Teresa? Now, what do you want to say?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Hiya. I just want to get back to the original point of the guy who wrote in.
Who's upset that his girlfriend is meeting her ex for lunch next week.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has every right to be upset, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm married and my ex is in contact with me occasionally. And I just had to cut it because, to be honest, I feel like even being in contact with an ex is cheating on your partner.
Okay, so you feel by
for a lunch.
You feel by being in contact is betraying them, is betraying their trust.
I think so, in a way, because it's just going to lead to other things. It's going to lead to her thinking about her ex, and she obviously has no respect for her partner if she's going to go against what he wants. And whether it's a woman or a man, it's going to lead to...
Okay, so you think it is perfectly reasonable for somebody like the guy who sent us the message to want to object to her meeting the ex?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
And Joanne, what, you think this girl Kelsey needs therapy?
Oh, yeah. Like, she obviously has an issue with men if she, like, gets someone to follow them around to make sure they don't do something. Like,
no, Joanne.
I'm nearly with my boyfriend 2 years, and one of his friends is a girl.
Sorry, I can't hear you there, Joanne. Whatever's after happening to your phone, it's very hard to hear you.
Hang on 1 second. I said my boyfriend. I'm nearly with him 2 years. One of his good friends is a girl. So, like, does her boyfriend have any girlfriends that are just friends?
That sounds very suspicious, Joanne.
It's not suspicious.
Really
I can tell you, no, it's really not. My boyfriend.
Yeah, so Kelsey, is your fella not even allowed to have female friends?
I looked through his phone and I know exactly who's in his phone, and there's no random girls that I don't know about.
Yeah,
they're either my friends, cousins.
Like, how do you know Patricia's not under Patrick? Like, he can have girls in his phone and you don't need, and you obviously need help because you literally, like, you don't trust anyone.
I looked through, but I looked through his phone.
I don't look through my boyfriend's phone because I trust him, and if he doesn't want to be...
Okay, Kelsey, would you have a problem if your boyfriend was going out for lunch with his ex?
I'd kill him.
No, Kelsey, Joanne.
No, my boyfriend, not really. It depends on the situation. Like, I'd be a bit upset, but if it was, like, every week and if it was for a reason, I'd say, okay, whatever, because I trust him. Like, I'd obviously be a bit like, oh, okay, but I wouldn't say no. Like, I don't stop him doing anything that he wants to do.
All right, so you would have no problem with it. But Kelsey, your advice to that guy who sent us the message in earlier on is what? Get rid of her.
Absolutely. Get rid of her.
Thanks, Kelsey. Thank you all of you for your calls. I have to leave it at that. You're listening to 98 FM's Dublin Talks. A politician across the water has caused quite a stir over comments he's made regarding people who put their parents into care homes. Now, if you're one of the many who made the decision to put your parent or parents into a care home, you'll be very interested in this. Parents have as much of a responsibility, adults have as much of a responsibility to care for their elderly mothers and fathers as they do for their own children, a British minister has said. David Mowat is the UK's care minister. He said that society has to take greater responsibility for the elderly. He said that he was struck by the fact that while nobody questions the fact that mothers and fathers care for their own children, society doesn't take the same approach to the elderly. He says it's our responsibility in terms of our life cycle. In other words, he is saying that our parents looked after us for long enough, so it's our duty to look after our parents when they're no longer able to cope on their own. And our question is he right? Is there no excuse for putting your parent in a care home? Is it the ultimate betrayal? Or is he in the world? How can two working adults look after an elderly parent full time? I'd love to hear from you on this. On 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp the programme on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Sinead, you're on 98 FM. Hiya, Sinead.
Hiya.
Now, Sinead, you actually work in a care home.
I do, yeah.
And what did you want to say?
Like, sometimes it's genuinely not the right situation to keep somebody at home. Like, we have residents who are unable to stand up, and it would take 2-3 people to help them stand up. And a lot of people's kids don't want to deal with personal hygiene when it comes to their parents, which I can totally understand because I wouldn't with my own parents.
I know, but our parents did it for us when we were babies.
It's a little bit different when it's your parents, I think, though. And, like, I know personally I wouldn't, but I have no problem in my work, getting on with work and doing what I have to do. But if it can, and this is from somebody who's working in the industry, if it came to having to do that for your own parents, you'd find it much more difficult. Yeah, I've spoken to my mum about it. I told her I wouldn't be able to do it for her, and I couldn't do it for my grandparents either. Because
you know them, because it's much more personal.
Yeah.
But you're able to do it no problem for somebody else.
Yeah, well, see, in work it's different. Like, in work I do know them now, but when I'm in work, they're not family, they're not related to me, and, you know, it has to be done. Whereas with parents and grandparents, I know a lot of people that wouldn't be able to do it, and a lot of people I work with wouldn't be able to do it. It's more because there's a close connection there.
Okay, now what this minister is saying is that we need, as people, to start taking more responsibility for our elderly, our own family, and that, putting a parent into a care home should be the last option. You should take every step to make that not happen if you possibly can.
Well, see, dementia now is starting to become quite a big thing. You hear about it a lot more. And even in the early stages of dementia, it can be very hard to look after somebody, especially when it's your parent. It's very hard to watch. And it can be quite hard to keep them, say, safe and in the house. So for a safety reason as well, it's better to have them looked after in a proper facility, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so you're saying that there are circumstances that it's just impossible to care for an elderly parent?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
But you must have seen people in that care home or others you may have worked in who could easily be living with their children.
Yeah, but it's also like a lot of the people that would be in our nursing home that would be able to stay at home with their children have actually chose to come into the nursing home themselves.
And why would you do that?
I suppose, like, they don't want to be a burden on their children, I suppose, like, with work and mortgages. I couldn't speak for them myself, but they're getting looked after, they're getting their beds made, they're getting their dinners, their washing and all that done. So it suits them and they enjoy it and they love being there, so I don't know.
Okay, stay there for 1 second. 6797 981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp the programme on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Where am I going now? I'm going to Tom. You're on 98 FM. How are you, Tom?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good, thanks, Tom. Tom, you have a very strong opinion on people allowing their parents to go into care homes.
No, people shouldn't go into care homes if they have children. Because don't forget, the children were reared by them people when they were small, rolling and screaming around the house, bringing them up and down the hospital, getting them right, getting them, and reared them and brought them into the world. And now when they're leaving the world, it's not the child's problem to look after their parents who cared for them. You know, but you get a lot of lazy people now that doesn't want to do it. And I class them people that puts the people into nursing homes are dirtbags.
Really?
Yeah, pure.
Now, okay, you've heard from Sinead that there are circumstances where you probably don't have an option. If somebody has severe Alzheimer's, for example, or other chronic conditions,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because when you were growing up, you weren't any better when you were a small baby and you had to be looked after, and your mother did it and your father did it. So why not return the compliment?
Because in certain circumstances, it is just, well, maybe medically ill-advised to be keeping your parents at home.
Well, if they're hospitalised, it's different. But I see people in nursing homes would love to go home, but their kids wouldn't have them at home. And some of their kids are ashamed of them, believe it or believe it not. That's why I call them dirtbags.
So anybody who allows their parent... I mean, you just heard Sinead saying that in some cases it is the elderly people who decide themselves they want to go to a care home because they don't want to be a burden on their children.
No, you see, I often go into the care homes to do runs out of it, and I'd see nice people there, men and women, and I'd be talking to them at their sitting room at the hospitals, at different nursing homes, and they'd be telling me all about their life. Nothing wrong with them. And not ramping or raving around, and their kids don't want them, and they told me that.
They told you that their kids didn't want them?
No, don't want them. They're a hazard in their life.
So anybody who puts their parents into a nursing home is a dirtbag in your opinion?
Pure dirtbag, yeah. Not a dirtbag, a pure dirtbag. That doesn't think of the person that brought him into the world, looked after him, and reared him what he was, and done it for years.
And you believe that it is our responsibility to return the favour if that's ever required of us?
Of course. It is your father and your mother. Of course it is. They're the people who looked after you.
Do me a favour, Tom, stay there for 1 second, because AJ, I'm going to talk to you straight after the break.
Yeah.
But you believe it's not up to us to look after our elderly parents?
No, if they're a burden on me, to be honest with you, to be frank, actually, because they usually tell you when you're 18, you're on your own. Well, guess what, ma'am? When you're 60, you're on your own, and I'm not having the professionalism to look after your sloppy face. So you know what I mean. So it's not my problem. You're a burden. So I'll be wheeling her in tomorrow.
Okay, stay there for 1 second. 6797 981 is our telephone number. Text or WhatsApp the programme 0877 98 98 98. Back in a second.
The voice of the city.
98FM's Dublin Talks.
We're in the middle of a conversation all to do with a decision that sadly a lot of us have to face at some stage in our lives, and that is the care of our elderly parents. A lot of people believe that it is your duty to care for your parents and return the favour of caring for them as they cared for you when you were younger. Well, the care minister in the UK, a guy called David Mowat, has said that society has to take greater responsibility for the elderly. He basically said that we have to more often look after our elderly parents and stop putting them in homes. Tom is saying anyone who puts their parents into a nursing home is a dirtbag. But AJ, you're saying that you don't have that responsibility. It's not down to you.
No, I think our man, Adrian, Tom, is actually terrified because he sounds like the age of, he's on his way. Get the wheelchair, he's on his way to retirement age anyway, so he's a gobtree. But I'm not trained, Adrian, to look after my mother or father or whatever. So why should I actually you're talking about being responsible. I'm not responsible for their life. So
you could argue, though, AJ, that parents aren't trained to look after children when their children are born, but they learn.
Oh, yeah, we all learn when we grow up. You get out of the house when you're 18, so I'd be kicking her into a nursing home, and I'll come and visit her maybe once or twice, and say, here's a Christmas present, good luck to you. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to wipe the dribbly nappies off her and all. So let them, I'm being very selfish here, Adrian, because I don't care. Let
okay,
them
you don't believe that it is your responsibility to look after your parents when they get older and if they need to live with you or whatever. It's not your responsibility.
No, it's a burden, Adrian.
It is the responsibility of the state, is it?
It's a responsibility of the government and the state, because it's not my responsibility. Because if over all the years are paying pensions and everything and all, why not just wheel them in and say, good luck, I'll visit you every 1 or 2 weeks, and you know, I'm not professional to be looking after dribbles and all. So good luck.
You make it sound disgusting, AJ.
It is.
And no, but you talk about parents with such little respect. That's the disgusting part.
No, but see, Tom is like making it all out because he's terrified now. He's going to be wheeled into somewhere. But that's what he's making out, that we should. No, what if we grow up for 18 years and the parents say to you, off you go, AJ, you're 18 years of age, you're on your own. Well, guess what, ma'am? Give me the forms and I'll sign you in, because guess what? In 20 years' time, I'll be signing you off. So it's not my responsibility.
Okay, so you would agree with this message that I got from a guy called Paul. It is not our responsibility to look after our parents. Our parents chose to have a child. Most wait till they're ready, knowing that you have to care for the child. How is an adult supposed to give up their life to take care of a parent who can't do anything for themselves?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why they're trained, Adrian, because they're trained.
But okay, Tom, what do you make of what, firstly, AJ is saying, and secondly, that message that I just got in this moment?
And that's why they're trained, Adrian, because they're trained.
Oh, sorry, you there, Tom?
What do you make of what?
Sorry, we're listening to 10 seconds behind. Brian, you're on 98FM. How are you, Brian?
Not too bad, how are you?
Brian, you believe it is our responsibility to look after our parents?
I do, yeah. To be honest, yes, I do. Fully.
Now, I'm sure you would accept that there are certain situations that it is just not possible when they're very, very sick.
Well, yeah, I suppose, yeah. But, you know, even if you get to a point, you know, where it's totally infeasible to do, then yeah, fair enough. But, Jesus, I saw my parents looking after, you know, their parents when they got old. And, you know, my sister and I helped out a bit here and there.
And you obviously believe, like that minister in England was saying, that it is part of the life cycle, that it does become your responsibility when your parents get older to, I suppose, return the favour.
Well, it's not going to return the favour. It is a responsibility. They looked after you for X amount of years. So, you know, you're incapable of looking after yourself and your baby and a child. So when people get to a certain point they're incapable of looking after themselves, the children should step up.
Okay, but AJ was saying that, you know, we all have our own lives and it's slightly different when it comes to looking after your elderly parents. He doesn't believe it is our responsibility to do that.
Well, no, I think it is. I genuinely do.
Well, there you go, AJ. It is your responsibility. They're your parents.
No, they give birth to your parents give birth to you because they think it's all marvellous and magical and miracles and all nonsense. And then all of a sudden they change on your way when you're 18. But you see, in the back of a child's mind, they're saying, well, I'll get you back in years later because I'm going to send you on your way. Why all of a sudden, when everybody nears death, all of a sudden they need help off their kids again? No, it's wrong. Parents should be educated and saying, don't be telling kids when you're 18, move out of the house. You know what I mean? And get out of here. No, we should not. We should not be looking after our parents.
So, AJ, do you have a good relationship with one or both of your parents?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No. Well, I kind of 50% do because the other half is a dick. So I don't really care. But what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, don't be expected to look after the grannies or the granddads in the future because you can put them into professional help. If I wheeled my mum in here now and I'm trying to look after her, it's not possible. So wheel them into a nursing home and good luck to them. Visit them once or twice.
I have to say, I just find that sort of attitude disgusting to be wheeling them into a nursing home. You obviously have an extremely poor relationship with your parents.
No, I don't. It's called logic And if it's illogical to put them in, who wants to wheel somebody into?
It's illogical to put your parents in a home when there's
you be
when you can look after them.
Sorry, say that again, Brian.
How is it logical to put your parents in a home when you can do it yourself? People raised you, people took care of you. So I'm trying to Adrian here. Do you not have a good relationship with your parents? Because by the sense you don't. It sounds like you have a crap relationship.
No. It's not about... actually, you care more if you put your parents into a nursing home. You actually care for them instead of neglecting them.
You actually believe that's showing... Sorry, AJ, you believe that that's showing that you care?
Yeah, it's showing that you care. You wheel them in and you say... somebody can help them. You look after them. If
you're stuffing into a home where you don't know what's going on 24/7.
Okay, let me ask you, Brian. You're saying yes, we should care for our elderly parents. For some people, that's not always feasible. They have jobs, they've mortgages, they've life, and it's not always feasible.
I know that, Adrian. I accept that, but what I'm saying is, if you can, then do it.
If you can, then do it. All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797-981 is our telephone number. Paul, you also sent that message in a while ago. It's not our responsibility. We didn't ask to be born.
Yeah, Adrian. So this whole thing that they took care of us and we have to take care of them, that doesn't wash with me.
Why not?
Well, I'd want to keep my parents around for as long as possible. Yeah, that's fair enough. But eventually now, if it came to the stage where I wasn't able to take care of them, I have a job, if I had kids or whatever at that stage, you're not just, when they were having a child, they chose to have a child.
I understand that, yes.
Nobody chooses for their parents to get ill and, have to go into a nursing home.
But it's okay, you don't choose, but you know it's going to happen. You know your parents are getting older, and you know that the day may come that you may have to look after them. But you're saying it is not your responsibility to do that. It's the responsibility of the state, is it?
Well, it's not the responsibility of the state. It is your responsibility if you can do it. But for a lot of people, you just can't do it.
What, for financial reasons or for work reasons or for medical reasons?
Well, no, any of them. It could be you have kids, you have a job, you have a mortgage, all of them things.
All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797-981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp the programme on 087 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Rebecca, I'm going to talk to you in just a moment. You actually work in a care home yourself.
I am a care assistant, so I actually go to the homes that they live in.
And do you think it is our responsibility to look after our parents if we can?
I think there is certain circumstances where it's not possible. I mean, where some people can be bedbound or stuck in a wheelchair, and it's just not possible for the family. And it's not even that it's not possible.
Okay,
for the family.
but if they're hale and hearty and just need somewhere to live, to be cared for, you think we should be doing that?
I think that it should be, just my personal opinion, working with these people, that it should be down to them, to be honest with you, because
it's ultimately their decision. Well, do me a favour, Rebecca, stay there for 1 second. Have to take a quick break. I'll be back to you in just a moment.
Bringing you the biggest Dublin stories first.
98FM's Dublin Talks.
Is it our responsibility to care for our elderly parents when they get older? That's the question that we're asking. We've been hearing from some people saying you're the lowest of the low if you put your parents into a care home. Others saying, no, it's just not our responsibility at all. They chose to have children. We don't choose to have to look after our parents later on in their lives. And that's what we're talking about. Now, Rebecca, overall, if you didn't work in a care home, what would your opinion be on this?
I think it would be the same as it is at the minute. I mean, your man AJ that was on there saying, as soon as you hit 60, you're going in a home, I'd put my man in a home tomorrow. I mean, that's heartless. I mean, how can you do something like that for someone that brought you up, raised you, and that gave you everything that you could grow?
And that's why I did say to him, you must have an awful relationship with your parents. You have to have that sort of attitude.
But even that, regardless of that, I mean, everyone has to have a heart. I mean, your parents are your parents, regardless of what happens. Do you know what I mean? And you can't just say, right, that's it, you're 60 years of age, you're being thrust into a home. I mean, that's not right. I mean, there's certain circumstances where people may need to go into a home, and that's different, where, you know, where if it's not manageable and they are bedbound and they need the likes of hoist and stuff like that, where it's not available at home. If someone is lucid, in my opinion, if someone is lucid, it's like someone saying to you, Adrian, I think you're mad, that's it, we're going to get the white coats out. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, you can't do things like that to people. I mean, I work with the elderly every day, and I wouldn't be related to them, I wouldn't, whatever. And you build up a relationship with these people. And I mean, I find it very difficult for someone like AJ to just say, tough them in a home, because I don't even know these people, and I build up a relationship, and you get to love them and whatever. And I can't imagine me even putting one of them in a home now, because you build up a relationship with them, and then to live with someone. He said that he was 18 when he was 12. I find that hard to believe as well, that they said, right, you're 18, you're gone. But anyways, I mean, if that's still 18 years of his life that he had a relationship with them, I mean, you can't just throw someone in a home unless they're not lucid or they don't know what's going on. And I mean, for him to say, I'm not wiping up their dribbly spit, like, that's a disgusting thing to say about your own parents. Do you know what I mean? It's bizarre.
I have to say, AJ, it's perhaps the most disrespectful thing I've ever heard anybody saying about their own parents.
No, all I said was, I'm not responsible enough to look after them, so shift them off. What's the problem with that? Let's be realist here now, and let's just say, okay, I can't look after my parents, both of them, by the way, so shift them off. Like, what's the problem?
Can I just ask AJ, is there something, is his parents, is there something wrong with his parents? Are they wheelchair bound? Are they bed bound?
No, it's just...
Well, then, I mean, what are you talking about? You can't just say,
let them
shift them off.
Just let them go off. We can make arrangements. Let them go off. Nobody cares, because, you know, chapter 11 of AJ's life in the autobiography is, it's all about me. It's not about the parents anymore. So, you know, they had their life, they had a good run, and I can't professionally look after them, so off they go.
Well, can I put it to you this way then? How would you feel when you hit 60 and your kids say to you, right, that's it, you're 60, off you go, off you trot, there you are, they're the best
lovely.
In the home.
That's great, because
I don't think
if you let me answer your question there, I'd love to be a 6-year-old granddad, and instead of me kids coming up to look at me or granddad, I'd love to look at a nurse. So what are you talking about? I would not like anybody doing anything for me, only a professional person. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so your argument is, I'm not qualified. Okay, what about if it's just a parent who is old, living at home, lonely, and, you know, just needs somebody to live with, for company, if nothing else?
Visit them.
Yeah, okay, stay there for a second. Paul, you're on 98... Oh, sorry, not Paul. Susan, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Susan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm grand, thanks, Susan. What did you want to say?
I'm just so, upset over this. I was diagnosed with Lyme's disease 3 years ago, and due to my Lyme's disease, there is days where I am wheelchair independent. My son is 12, and he basically stepped in as my carer when I'm unable to do things at home. So is this man, AJ, or whoever he is, trying to say that, okay, here, bang her into a home?
Because I mean, it is very heartless, isn't it?
It is so heartless. Like, I grew up, we all grew up in a big family where we all looked after one another. And when my grandmother was diagnosed with cancer, it could be 7 years now, we were all rallied around together. We looked after her, and her wish was to be at home, in her safety of her home, to die at home. We gave her that wish. I'd never change anything, you know. And my grandfather, I always thought it would be the same for him, and he didn't get to die at home. And to this day, it still haunts me, thinking, would he have wanted the same as my granny? Instead, he was on his own in a hospital, and that kills me to this day. But then I look at now, and I thought I'd never be sick. I'd always be able to do the things I'm able to, you know, once was able to do. And now, since I became ill, I can't do the things I used to do. And now my son, he misses out on most things because, well, my mum is not able to do that. You know, so to hear it coming from, like, that man sounds young enough, like, how would he feel if his child, and he was young, and his child said, oh, here, I'm not putting up with this.
He basically, well, you heard what he said. He basically said, well, you know, tough.
I just think it's so shocking, and I actually feel sad for him. I actually feel sad for him that he doesn't obviously have a good home, loving, big family that want to look out for one another. That's what I'm getting from from him talking. I just think it's so heartless.
Sorry, AJ, say that again.
She's obviously an idiot, because we're talking about retirement age people in their 65, 70-year-olds, and she's on about, wheelchair, nonsense. We're talking about 65, 70-year-olds. Who needs that garbage going on in their lives? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, like, you're talking about kids and all nonsense.
No,
like,
AJ, it's like this. You're just saying there, when they're not capable of doing things for themselves, and they need professional help. There is days where I actually do need professional help. Like for instance, 2 months ago, I could not move with the muscle spasms and everything else. My muscle spasms are so bad that I actually become bruised from it. And then it's left to my 12-year-old to ring for an ambulance to come and get me because he can't do it.
And that's disgraceful. You're leaving, you're irresponsible parent if you're your 12-year-old to look after you, and she's not even professionally trained. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Do you know what's so funny? It's not just my 12-year-old that looks after me. My family are there too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because myself and my son live together, my son sees most of it, unfortunately. There's not a thing I can do about it.
You need care. You need help, and you're ashamed because you think you're independent. You need help. That's what you need. A 12-year-old looking after you.
The way I look at it is that it's a fight that I will not give up on, because I want to show my son that I am going to fight it right to the end. No problem.
Yeah, okay. Well, you do that, and when you're 6 years of age, your 12-year-old will be probably in her 40s or something, and she will wheel your ass into the retirement home.
I'm telling you now, if you had met my son, like for instance, I was only at his secondary school teachers' meeting. They actually said he's the most kindest, most loving child they've ever met in their lives, coming in and out of that
probably
school.
Great at mathematics as well. No, lovely.
Sorry?
He's probably great at mathematics.
I think, regardless, man, this young lad has gotten straight A's and B's and everything that's going on at home. What does that tell you?
Are you not terrified that somebody's going to wheel you into a retirement home when you're 65? No, you're not. No, because you think
because I know my family are going to be there for me. There's a big difference.
Just stop, nobody knows what's around the corner.
If my family didn't want to look after me, they wouldn't be doing it now. They wouldn't be doing it now, AJ. To me, it sounds like you kind of sound very bitter because...
No, I'm just stating the fact here. Like, people need to face up to the facts. Personal family members cannot deal with your dribbly shit. So all of a sudden, they just put an end to it and say, okay, we have to make arrangements. And then the inevitable happens when you're going to be put into a nursing home. Face the facts. Everybody's terrified.
I've been through all this with my grandmother. She was at home with cancer, and we all, as a family, we used to have two of us there together. It would be myself, my aunt, or my sister and my mum. We'd all taken in turns to look after 24 hours looking after that woman, and I don't regret a single second of it. Not a single second of it.
Okay, so you look after a child, right? But then a child needs to help him because the child doesn't know what he's doing, right? But then when the parents grow older and they don't know what they're doing, dementia and all this nonsense, and then all of a sudden, you can't deal with it because it's unusual. So you just shift them off.
I think what's so...
I think what's sickening about what you're saying, AJ, is the way in which you're saying shift them off. It's very heartless. It really is.
So if I say, Adrian, wheel them off, what are we supposed to do? Put them into a care home, put them into a nursing home for professionalism. What are we supposed to do? Just leave them at home swallowing in their own gut? What are we supposed to do?
All right, stay there for 1 second. Where am I going now? By the way, our phone number is 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Michael, you're on 98FM. How are you, Michael?
I'm very good.
Now, Michael, what did you want to say on this?
I was just saying that the point I'm trying to make is when somebody gets sick or incapacitated, especially a parent when they get older, the whole family flocks around to try and help, the men included, but the women take over, And then you're kind of you're isolated as a man, and your point of view doesn't really matter,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So, like, for some man to come along and say stick them in a nurse, that is a bit ridiculous as well, because men are not as compassionate as women. The women do look after the people when they're sick, and we do our best in the sidelines. That's about the size of it.
Okay, so you believe that this is ultimately a woman's decision?
No, I think that they take over. Their brain takes over. It has nothing to do with a decision. It's the paternal instinct in the woman, whereas the men don't have that. We're void of it.
Yeah, okay, I can understand that point. As regards what AJ is saying, and Paul for that matter, Paul's also saying that it is not our responsibility to look after our parents when they get older. What do you say?
Well, it is to a point. You do your best as far as you can, and if it goes further than what you can do, well then of course you have to get help. I don't agree with putting a parent into a nursing home. They spent their whole life looking after you and your kids, so that's just a betrayal, you know.
It's just a betrayal?
Yeah, it's a betrayal for a person just to stick them in the nursing home and forget about them, you know. I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do that. We're all able to do everything. It's just the women are better at it than we are.
AJ, maybe he's excusing you because you're a man. Are you excusing his attitude because he's a man, Michael? He's saying he wouldn't be able for it.
Yeah, he's just not able for it. You know, he's got points and things on his mind, and the women are more, women are more loving than we are.
Oh, are you a bit of a fairy or something? What are you talking about? Women are more loving. What about male nurses? What about male nurses?
Well, we're getting totally off the point here. I take your point, Michael. Let me bring in one last call, and that's you, Anne. You're on 98 FM. How are you, Anne?
Hiya. It's disgusting the way he's talking about your parents. Absolutely, it's turning me stomach. Who looked after him growing up?
Until I was 18, yeah?
Yeah, till you were 18. Now it's your turn to do it for your parents.
No.
Yes, it is. No. You've no heart at all to turn around and say that, ship them off to a nursing home.
Okay, ship them off, because...
because what?
What's the problem? No, see, the thing is, right, I keep saying this, I'm not professionally trained. Okay, how about, actually, this could be another topic, because what happens if somebody doesn't bring them to a nursing home and they're wandering around swallowing in my crap here and all over the shop, and I can't actually help them, and then all of a sudden there's a topic about me being neglecting my parents. Now, how about that? Oh no, different topic, isn't it?
It's not a different topic. You will get help if your parents want to be at home and you have a good family, which I have, and I look after my own parents as well. I'm 40 years of it. I'm in my 40s. I look after them. I've an 80-something-year-old father and a 70-year-old mother.
Send them off.
Pardon?
Send them off.
Why?
Send them off to a nursing home.
Answer me why?
Because it's less of a burden.
That's what it is to you, and it's to what all people are saying today, because you know what? You're all up their own arse.
Well, let me ask you, Anne, do you believe it is our responsibility, where at all possible, to care for our own parents rather than put them in a home?
I do believe, but when it comes to a certain stage of, just say you are not really able at all when it comes to the end of time, you can bring your parents home and you can get a little bit of extra help in your home with medication and stuff like that. But with washing them, changing them, they're your parents. You have to do that.
No, you don't.
You do. You're very ignorant, you are, to say something like that.
Ignorant, because I think it's disgusting.
It's disgusting. Who's going to look after you and wipe your arse when you're that age?
Hopefully a professional.
God, you know what? I'd leave you on the street. Because that is not right at all. You weren't brought up with manners or to respect your parents.
Now who's heartless? You'd rather see me on the street.
To say something like that about your own parents, ship them off?
I don't want... Ship them off. Good luck to them.
That is sickening. Absolutely sickening, that is.
I hope I pissed you off for the whole day.
But you know what? I'd say there is an awful lot of grandparents that are 70 and 80 that get dumped with grandchildren because everyone wants to go in and do their own little job and be happy.
Yeah, I'd say they're very worried at the moment.
Do you know that? And how come they're able to do it then and mind grandkids?
Yeah, because they're terrified. They're terrified they're going to be shipped off. And good luck.
It's sickening, absolutely sickening. And then you're saying dump them in a home, but they're all right to mind your grandkids.
Yeah, good luck.
It's sickening.
They're not capable of minding grandkids.
I see it every day. The week when I go up to the school to collect my own kids, and I just say, how can you ask?
You said you're 40. So when you're 65, can you wipe the spaghetti bolognese off your face? No,
you're being ridiculous again now, AJ. The fact of the matter is, I hate to think the relationship that you have. You must dislike your parents intensely.
That's what it is.
I don't, Adrian. I
Oh,
don't
God,
really-
you do.
Or dislike the world
You
or
can
something.
hear it in your voice.
No, Adrian, what I'm saying is that when, look, my parents are like 50s, so when they're 65, 70, all I'm saying is the facts. I have a great relationship. I'm actually on up after about 12:05, and I'm going to be going up to my mum's house. That's cool. All I'm saying is the fact that I don't personally, in my opinion, I do not care for what happens like when they're set, because I'm not able to help them. So
Okay,
what's the
all right.
problem?
And that was what that other guy was excusing you for. Here's the bottom line, by the way. You might think that guy's an arsehole and going on like a bell end and everything else that you've been texting in. The fact of the matter is that tens of thousands of adults make that same choice every single year. Every single year. And one of our first callers that we had on earlier on said that when it comes to care homes, not everybody in a care home needs to be in a care home. That's the point. So many, many, many people make that choice. I remember talking to a guy before in this programme who said, I'm too busy at work, so I put my mother in a home. That was his answer. Jeremy's here with messages coming in on text message, on WhatsApp, and everywhere else.
Now, as you can imagine, a lot of them are they're directed towards AJ. One of them says, if I was somebody, I would put AJ into a home. What a disrespectful a-hole is he. You can't, and here's a point that's Donna is making that makes sense. You can't put yourself, you can't give an opinion until you put yourself in that position. Who knows what the future holds? You need to be a trained professional in order to look after an elderly parent. I mean, that's true, down to bathing an elderly parent. If the elderly parent has toilet issues, Adrian, I mean, you need to be trained in to do that.
No, I know, and that was all mentioned earlier on. In fact, one of our Sinead, who works in a care home, who does all of that work, says she couldn't do it for her own parents. She just couldn't.
I would rather be signed into a home than be a burden on my family, says Pamela, and that's the way I've put the point to my family. As soon as I get old and I can no longer look after myself, I don't want to be a burden. I don't know, how do you feel about that? I'd hate to be a burden. I'd hate to be a burden.
I would myself.
And you know the way people say, you're not a burden, your family. You are a burden. When you can't do anything for yourself, you become a burden, regardless of what you think, don't you?
It's an awful word. I think it's an awful way to describe another human being. But no, I wouldn't like to be a burden myself. However, I do believe it is down to the adult or the older person to make that decision. If they don't want to be a burden and they want to go into a home, then that is ultimately their choice, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple more messages. You wouldn't treat an old animal the way AJ treats his parents, says that. See, I think a few people missed out on something that AJ said. I don't know if you even picked up on it, Adrian. What AJ said earlier, and it was a throwaway comment, he said he's not capable of looking after his parents.
Yes.
That's a big difference. If you're not capable of doing it, you don't have a choice, do you not? Janice, final message from Janice. I have a mother who's in her late 70s and she's getting to the stage where she won't be able to live on her own anymore. This is the debate that we are having in our household at the moment. But after listening to the show just now, there is no way I will put her in a home. I could not be the type of person that AJ is.
This is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
This is 98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy. Dublin's 98FM.